Hello guys and welcome here to the Jello Cup Series. We've made it to race number 30. After today, only 6 races left on the Jello Cup Series circuit. And today we bring you the race here today from Phoenix. This will open up the round of 12. And it was an interesting round of 16, which saw, unfortunately, Dylan Young, our regular season champion, Mitchell Collins, his Penske teammate, Mina Monroe. Yeah, saw those 3 get eliminated, and I believe... Shoot, how do I not remember? Last car. And Dick Clark in the 88. So it saw Dick Clark, Mitchell Collins, Dylan Young, and Mina Monroe all eliminated last round. Man, my memory's bad. So we'll see what happens today. The field is reset, and you've got 4 playoff drivers making up positions 2 through 6. Or 3 through 6, rather. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond today, because they know that any of those 4 could be on the cusp of falling out. Tim Randolph, he's been on a hot streak. He'll start 3rd. He's the highest of those playoff drivers. He also has 23 playoff points at his disposal. And we'll see what happens. And also, another one to keep an eye on, of course, is Patrick Smith in that number 35. Even though he's at the bottom, he ran really well in round 1. We'll see if these short tracks here at Phoenix and at Bristol next race will benefit him, as well as the Charlotte Roval. We'll see what happens. But starting on the pole today will be Chris Smith, and starting to his outside will be Dan Hummel. This is the Jello Cup Series. This is the round of 12 here today from Phoenix. Let's roll the intro, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Through turn 4. Just 24 headed up. It's going to be a drag race to the line. We're going down the front stretch. The 96. Wins the race at Coda. Ryan Knox is going to win at Watkins Glen. 7. Got this. All right. Ryan got this.
Here we go. Pace car is through turn 2, and they peel off. Now these guys make the long trek down what used to be the the front stretch here at ISM. It is now, or at Phoenix, it is now the back stretch, as the new start finishes right out of turn 3 and 4 there, and it'll be Chris Smith and Dan Hummel leading us to the Geico restart zone, and we are underway at Phoenix. Boy, Tim Randolph is trying to waste no time. Aggressive move early. He won't lead that lap, though. Narrowly, the 42 wins that battle. But now the 43 officially takes over the race lead. Again, I remind you, Tim Randolph has the most playoff points so far. In him leading the race, he can add to that total. And, of course, he is on track to try to get his 4th win of the season. We'll see if that happens. He leads another lap. That's a bonus. Or, of course, he got a bonus point for leading a lap. Boy, he'd like to lock into the round of 8 pretty early. See some of these guys struggling to pass. The inside lane doesn't necessarily work here. You really gotta kind of work around, takes a couple laps. Once you catch someone, you really gotta work them over a little bit to get the position. But it was no problem for Tim Randolph. He got the lead early. Worked over Chris Smith for that lead. Now he's just trying to hold off Dan Hummel. Dan Hummel, keep in mind, he almost made the playoffs at Darlington. He led a lot of the race and just fell short. So, of course, this team, keep in mind, with the top 33 rules in this series, they're going to need 2 wins to get in. And that's where these guys are going to be trying to press their luck and try to steal one from the playoff guys. Oh, Trevor Collins drove it in pretty deep, looking for 3rd, and he'll take it for now. And Trevor Collins also trying to waste no time and not allow this 43 to check out. But I don't think he'll have to worry about that. Dan Hummel is right on that bumper. And here he goes for the lead. And Dan Hummel will get it for the time being. But the 43 is going to battle back to the outside. Tim Randolph narrowly leads that lap. And this is where he'll get him. And then Trevor Collins will try to follow for 2nd. We'll see if Trevor Collins can follow. The 43 is still up high. He could reclaim the race lead, maybe. He will not. But Trevor Collins will now battle for the lead. He'll move the 25 up the track and go to the inside. Here comes Tim Horton as well. And that number 12, the only Team Penske car remaining in this playoff battle. And that's a shocker right there, as we expected Team Penske to really take it to them here with all 3 of their cars. Surprisingly, well, actually no, one of the Stewart-Haas cars did get eliminated. And look at that, Tim Horton all over the bumper of that 42 of Chris Smith. He's not going to get him this time, though. And Trevor Collins will continue to lead here. And keep in mind, of course, with the P next to their name, that means they are still in the playoffs. If Trevor Collins can hang on, he will advance to the round of 8. And of course, this is the last round that playoff points carry over to the next round, because in the round of 8, no one's playoff points carry over. The only tally that'll count for the only way playoff points will count is if it comes down to a tiebreaker in the championship for who accrued the most playoff points. And of course, that would be second to wins on the circuit this season. And surprisingly, some clean racing. We don't normally see that here at ISM. We've seen some wreck fests. We've seen some decent racing in the past. It's been a mix. But so far, it's been clean, and it's been fast. And keep in mind, after this, we go to Bristol. That'll be the midway race here. It's also what was the championship race for the Carvana wildcard, which, by the way, signups are soon for that. Or tomorrow, I believe, and we'll wrap up the week with Bristol. And then next week we start with Charlotte. That'll be the Bank of America Roval 400 right there. So Charlotte Roval's next. That'll wrap up the round of 12. Then we head to Talladega. And then we head to Watkins Glen, our final road course of the season. Now keep in mind, Watkins Glen, the Go Bowling 355 at the Glen, is going to be at the boot. So something we are not accustomed to as the caution is out. It's going to be a new track for these guys. We'll see how they handle it. Eric Faden is the reason for the caution. Looks like he got back into the wall. And now we'll see, do these guys pit? And yes, they will. Will anybody play some strategy? The 15 and the 14 will stay out. But did they pit before the caution? No, they did not. So Nonigan Scott and Alexander Rowe will take over the front two positions. Six is in. And they will go 4 tires and fuel. See Tim Horton doing the same. And the question will be, who will win the race off? 6 is out and away. 25 is, 43 is. And pretty much no change up front. Well, let's go see what happened. Looks like Dick Clark does a nice little bump and run here, or tries to, and it fails miserably. I don't know if he saw the 00 there or if he tried to intentionally turn the 8. But either way, Eric Faden not going to be happy with that 88 car at the end of this race. And that's a tough break. Just continued bad luck for Eric Faden to start or throughout the season. He's going to be one, I'm sure, looking forward to what Season 6 has to offer. And we'll take you back to the green. Getting ready for the restart. I believe the 14 tried to stay out and lead a lap. And that was probably the reasoning for staying out, but Nonigan Scott prevents that from happening as he gets a lap led. It'll be Trevor Collins, Dan Hummel, Tim Randolph, Tim Horton, and Ahmad Mihailovic, your top 5. Then it'll be Frodemar Otts, Chris Smith, as we're back underway. And already the 66 trying to take advantage. Keep in mind, the 66 is battling to get a second-tier charter. They have not won a race yet this season, but if they could get if they could start winning some races, they could put themselves in a good position to win a top-tier charter. Or one of the top charters, assuming that the 66 returns next season. See there, they'll get around the 12 for the time being, 3 wide. And this is not what Tim Horton needs to be in right now. See up ahead now, Ahmad Mihailovic is going to set his sights on the 43 of Tim Randolph. I don't think he'll do it this time. Instead, he'll allow the 12 to go right up next to him again. And up front, it is Trevor Collins leading the race. Dan Hummel in second. But in hot pursuit is that number 43. And again, Tim Randolph is hungry here today. But so is Trevor Collins, because if either one of these two playoff guys wins, even if Tim Horton or any of them win, they advance to the next round no matter what happens the next two races. They could DNF and finish 40th at Bristol and at the Roval, and it would not matter. See, that 6 looks strong. There goes the 66 again. And now the 12 will try to make it 3 wide as 66 just can't get around the 43. And now he will. Up front once again, Trevor Collins. That lead growing. It's now 1 second ahead of second. This could be win number 3 of the season for Trevor Collins. If you missed the early part of the season, he won back-to-back at Martinsville and at Milwaukee. Those were the 2 tracks. The 6 was victorious back-to-back in races 9 and 10. That solidified their playoff hopes. Carter Joey also won a couple races. His friend there won at Gateway and won at Rockingham, which helped the 95 get to this round. And the 6 wants a guarantee to be into the round of 8. See, 25 runs it a little wide. He's trying everything he can to close that gap. And maybe even playing defensive, trying to prevent Ahmad Mihailovic from stealing one today. Again, I remind you, the 25 and the 66, they may not be battling for a championship, but they are battling to get their teams into the top 33 for next season. Of course, Tier 1 is all the playoff drivers. Tier 2 is 2+ wins. Then Tier 3, which is one they want to avoid, is a random draw because the odds are not in your favor. See, a 25 is slow right there. Wondering if he's going to be making a pit stop. No, he's not. He just, for some reason, he looked slow off that corner. And it opens the door as Ahmad Mihailovic was getting blocked there. That allows Tim Randolph to look for the position. Unsuccessfully, unfortunately. The lead is almost 2 seconds. And there we go. The 25 closed a little bit there. We should have another cycle of stops. Keep that in mind. This race still not over yet. Tim Randolph looking for third back there. And he'll pit, and so will the 66 and a bunch of others. Told you we weren't far from stops here. And how long does the 6 stay out? That's going to be the big question. I would imagine they don't want to stay out very long. And they won't. Here comes Trevor Collins. That'll hand the lead to Frodemar Otts. Frodemar Otts, he was one with the win in a double points race over at Charlotte earlier this year. And that, of course, should have gotten them in the playoffs. They went on a little bit of a landslide. Fell outside of the top 33. Or top 30, rather. And that's what costed them really a chance at making the playoffs. All they had to do was stay top 30. They couldn't do it, unfortunately. That's just a tough break for those guys. So up ahead, we're going to see who wins the battle. And it will be the 6 of Trevor Collins. Those guys who pitted early, they're Dan Hummel and those guys, they will lose positions by pitting early. As Trevor Collins goes back to the lead, and he's got a sizable one. As it'll be Trevor Collins, he's the leader right now. Carter Joey, he's in second. Talk about gaining positions there. I don't think he was anywhere in the picture before that cycle of stops happened. Chris Smith, he moves to third. Sorry about that. Fourth is Mitchell Collins in the number 22. A good run going for them. Fifth is Dan Hummel. Sixth is Usman Hamid. Seventh is Tim Randolph. Oh, I don't know. I think we had a spinner off the corner there. We stay green, though. Eighth is Dylan Young. Not a good run going for Gene Sanford, by the way. Ninth is Ahmad Mihailovic. And in 10th is Austin Shaw. 11th is Kevin McHugh. 12th is Frodemar Otts. 13th, Ben Crouch. 14th, Hillary Sanchez. Last race winner, Charles Sanford, is 15th. Tim Horton falls all the way to 16th in a battle with Giorgio Stumu. He's in 17th. Scott Upton, 18th. Diego Yepes is 19th. And Nathan Faden is in 20th. That is through the field. We head back up front. You saw someone did tap the wall. We don't exactly know what happened, but it didn't bring out a caution, so no worries about it. Come to 6 laps to go. Oh boy, Carter Joey's got to be hoping right there. He's got to be sitting there and hoping that the 6 makes a mistake. Because I think a caution would just about end this race. And he's got to be sitting there saying, please, please slip up. 5 to go. And this is not what Carter Joey needed. Now there's a lapped car between him and Trevor Collins. And also Dan Hummel pressuring the 95. 4 to go. Add another lapped car to the mix. Dan Hummel gets second. A good run going for that Western New York Autosport team after missing the playoffs. 3 to go. Gotta imagine this is gonna be the longest 3 laps for Trevor Collins, as he's just looking to punch his ticket to the round of 8. And 2 laps of racing to go. We're still green. Dan Hummel's caught the lap traffic. He's closed to 1.5, but he's not going to have the time, I don't think. And now the two are running side by side. You got to wonder how much has the 6 backed off, realizing that he doesn't need to push it. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for Trevor Collins. And Trevor Collins, we mentioned earlier, it was back-to-back wins for him earlier in the season. 20 races later, he's going to pick up his 3rd win of the season. And he'll do it today, advancing to the round of 8 at Phoenix. Congratulations to Trevor Collins. Job well done. They move on in the playoffs. Dan Hummel, he charged late, tried to do everything he could. He just couldn't get there. Another strong run, though, for the 25, one they've needed. And then Tim Randolph, he's going to have to settle for 3rd. And Carter Joey falls to 4th. But either way, good results for those guys. They're not locked into the next round, though, because Trevor Collins is. And we want to thank you for watching. Here come your results and standings, and we'll see you for race number 31 at Bristol. Till then, goodbye, everyone.